Welcome in, culinary creators and hospitality leaders. This video is really about one big restaurant truth. Menu prices are not just numbers on a page, they are decisions that shape profitability, guest perception, and long-term survival. Behind every successful restaurant is a menu that has been priced with surgical precision, not guesswork. Today, we're diving deep into a revolutionary framework that combines hard cost analysis, consumer psychology, and modern technology. At first glance, pricing a dish may seem as simple as marking up ingredients. But as we move through this story, you'll see it is much more than that. It involves food costs, labor, overhead, market conditions, menu design, and the value guests believe they are receiving. So grab a seat at the chef's table, and let's explore the numbers that will completely change how you think about that piece of paper or screen your customers stare at every single day. Trust me, by the end of this, you will never look at a menu the same way again. Here is the million-dollar question that keeps restaurant owners staring at the ceiling at 3 in the morning. How do you price your menu items to maximize profit without scaring your customers away? That question matters because the wrong answer creates pain in both directions. Price too low and a busy restaurant can still lose money. Price too high and guests feel sticker shock and walk away. In an industry notorious for razor-thin margins, often just 3 to 5%, getting your pricing strategy wrong can literally mean the difference between your restaurant becoming a neighborhood staple for decades or becoming another depressing statistic in the graveyard of failed eateries. Add in supply chain disruptions, labor shortages, and inflation eating into profits, and this question has never been more critical. So the real challenge becomes, how do you set menu prices that protect profitability without breaking trust with the guest? That tension is exactly what drives the rest of this discussion, and guesswork simply is not good enough anymore. Now listen, you might be thinking, can't I just look at what competitors charge and work from there? Here is the hard truth. That is exactly where most restaurateurs go tragically wrong. Traditional pricing methods are fundamentally broken in 3 devastating ways. First, pure cost-plus pricing completely ignores what your unique customers are actually willing to pay, leaving money on the table every single day. Second, competitor-based pricing creates a race to the bottom where nobody wins and everyone commoditizes their food. Third, and this is a big one, manual spreadsheets absolutely cannot keep up with daily cost fluctuations. By the time you have updated your prices, ingredient costs have already changed again. And perhaps most critically, these old-school methods ignore something essential. Guests do not buy cost structures, they buy perceived value. So if a restaurant focuses only on copying nearby prices or marking up ingredients without considering brand, atmosphere, service, and menu design, it ends up with numbers that look tidy on paper but quietly drain margin in the real world. The gap is between pricing as guesswork and pricing as strategy. But there is a much better way, and that is exactly what we are diving into next. So, how do we fix this completely broken system? The answer is an integrated cost-plus-value framework, a disciplined approach that merges 3 essential pillars into one cohesive pricing strategy. Pillar 1 starts with absolutely rock-solid cost analysis. That means calculating your cost of goods sold, tracking food cost percentage, understanding prime costs, and determining your break-even point. Then you establish your maximum allowable food cost, which is 100 minus the sum of labor, overhead, and your profit goal, all divided by total sales. Most restaurants should be targeting between 28 and 35%. Pillar 2 layers in proven psychological principles that influence how customers perceive your prices and the value they believe they are receiving. Pillar 3 leverages modern restaurant technology to automate these calculations and enable dynamic adjustments in real time. Think of it as a 3-legged stool. Remove any one of those legs, and the whole thing collapses. But when all 3 work together in harmony, you create a pricing engine that is both wildly profitable and incredibly adaptable to market changes. So the approach is not just know your numbers, it is know your numbers first, then present them strategically. Now let me show you exactly how this works with some powerful calculations that will forever change how you see every dish on your menu. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty with some absolutely game-changing calculations that reveal exactly what your menu item should cost to hit your profit goals. Take a plate that costs $3.50 in ingredients. If your target food cost percentage is 32%, you simply divide. 3.50 divided by 0.32 gives you $10.94. Round that up to $11 or $12, and you have a price engineered for profitability. Restaurants using this disciplined method have seen profit margins jump from a struggling 5% to a healthy 18% or more. But here's where it gets really exciting. Knowing the numbers is only half the battle. Our findings show that small presentation choices create massive behavioral shifts. Dropping currency symbols reduces the psychological pain of paying, so a price reading simply 45 feels far less intimidating than $45. Charm pricing, balancing high-cost signature dishes with low-cost, high-margin items, and strategic menu placement all dramatically alter customer behavior and increase overall ticket size without sacrificing guest satisfaction. The biggest takeaway is that profitability improves when pricing becomes precise, balanced, and continuously updated. Restaurants perform best when they connect recipe costs, food cost percentages, labor realities, and overhead into one usable pricing system, and then combine that system with intelligent menu design. Now let's look at how this framework plays out in real restaurant concepts operating right now. This is where theory meets cold, hard reality. How do you actually apply this framework in real restaurants operating right now? The beautiful part is its flexibility across different concepts. For fast casual spots, bundle pricing creates value meals where customers spend more but feel like they are getting an amazing deal, and your margins actually increase while perceived value soars. Fine dining establishments can use prefix menus with psychological pricing tricks like removing dollar signs and using whole numbers, making $85 feel far less painful, especially when white glove service justifies every dollar. Farm-to-table restaurants can implement real-time price adjustments based on actual daily ingredient costs, using chalkboard or digital menus that customers genuinely expect to change. And quick-service restaurants can feature high-margin items through strategic placement in the Golden Triangle, the area where customers' eyes naturally land first on any menu. And here is something critical. Smart pricing improves far more than revenue. It shapes purchasing decisions, inventory control, labor efficiency, and brand positioning. It helps restaurants escape the trap of competing only on cheapness, which is a losing game for everyone. Instead, operators can price around the value they create through quality, atmosphere, hospitality, and specialization. So how do you stay ahead of the curve as the market keeps evolving around you? We are witnessing a massive paradigm shift in restaurant pricing, one as revolutionary as the move from old cash registers to modern POS systems. The paper points toward a clear direction. Restaurants must stop thinking of menu pricing as a static print decision and start treating it as an adaptive business system. In this new mindset, prices are informed by live cost data, recipe standardization, labor visibility, and regular market review. Menus become tools for steering demand, highlighting profitable items, and protecting margin during volatility. Imagine a pricing engine that automatically knows when it rains, comfort food demand spikes, and can sustain a 10% price premium, or that during a local festival, guests are willing to pay more for your signature dish because they are in a celebratory mindset. This is not science fiction. This is where the industry is heading right now. As we look toward 2026 and beyond, operators have better access than ever to integrated data tools, tighter invoice automation, and more granular item-level reporting. The future of pricing is not random experimentation. It is disciplined adjustment, backed by numbers and sharpened by brand strategy. Tomorrow's successful restaurateur will be part chef, part data scientist, conducting pricing decisions that react to market signals intelligently and automatically. And that sets us up perfectly for what you can do starting today. So here is your complete roadmap to pricing success in 3 crystal clear steps you can begin implementing this week. Step 1. Know your numbers inside and out. No excuses. Calculate your COGS, your prime costs, your break-even point, and that all-important maximum allowable food cost. This is your foundation. Without it, you are flying blind and hoping for the best. Step 2. Add psychology to the mix in a meaningful way. Design your menu layout using proven eye-tracking principles, remove those psychologically painful dollar signs, and position your high-margin items where customers' eyes naturally land first, the golden triangle. Step 3. Leverage modern technology to automate and optimize everything. Today's POS systems, integrated with inventory management, can update recipe costs in real time, letting you adjust prices strategically based on data rather than reacting after the damage is done. Start right now by standardizing just 5 of your top-selling recipes and calculating their true costs down to the penny. Then experiment with one psychological pricing tactic. Maybe remove currency symbols, or try bundle pricing on a lunch special and measure the difference. Most of all, keep revisiting the system because costs change, guests change, and markets change. Don't just price the food you serve, price the restaurant you mean to run. The restaurants that will truly thrive in the next decade won't be the cheapest, they'll be the smartest, treating pricing as the strategic weapon it is, not an afterthought rushed through once a year. Now go forth and price with real purpose. You've got this. Like and subscribe for more helpful videos like this. Connect with Forks for the experienced accounting professionals your restaurant needs. Details in description below.